Build your dreams, live rich, and leave rich.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Krish, and this is Live Rich and Leave Rich, the place where we tackle the big financial questions to help you build real, lasting wealth. Today we're getting into a huge debate. What's the smarter choice for your family's future? Buying a flat or investing in a plot of land? Now, just a quick heads up. Everything we talk about today is for your education. It's super important you chat with a certified financial advisor to get a plan that's tailored just for you. You've heard this a million times, right? It's practically a proverb in India. Land is never a loss-making deal. This idea has been passed down through generations. It's more than just financial advice. It's an emotional belief baked right into our culture. Owning land is seen as the ultimate sign of security. But we've got to ask, does that old wisdom still work in today's world? I mean, with cities expanding like crazy, with massive EMIs, your monthly loan payments, and so many other ways to invest, is this belief still building wealth? Or could it actually be a trap that leaves families asset-rich but completely cash-poor? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to unpack this whole thing. We'll look at what I call the Great Indian Dream Trap. We'll cover the #1 rule of wealth building. We'll actually crunch the numbers, plot versus flat. Then we'll look at how this plays out for two different families. And to wrap it all up, I'll give you a super simple checklist to make the right call for your family. Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation of everything. If you get this one rule, I promise you it will change the way you look at money forever. It's all about understanding the real difference between an asset and a liability. It really is that simple. You've probably heard this from Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out of your pocket. So when you look at a property, that's the only question that matters. Is this thing going to pay me, or am I going to be paying it? And this analogy just makes it so clear. Think about an empty plot of land. It doesn't earn you a single rupee. In fact, it's a constant drain. You're paying taxes, maybe paying for a fence or security to keep people off it. Now think about a flat that you rent out. That's like getting a monthly salary, and it's a salary that usually goes up every year, helping you stay ahead of inflation. All right, so now that we have that #1 rule locked in our minds, it's time to set the emotions and the old sayings aside and just look at the cold, hard math. Let's put a plot of land and a flat in a head-to-head competition. Let's just break this down. With a plot, your cash flow is negative. Money is always going out. And liquidity? Forget about it. If you need money fast, trying to sell a plot can take months, even years. And the headache of managing it, worrying about someone building on your land or getting into legal disputes, it's huge. Now, look at the flat. You can get positive cash flow from rent. It's way easier to sell. The building society handles all the maintenance headaches. And it's usually located right where you need to be, in the city. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is the biggest argument people have against flats. Krish, the building gets old, the value goes down. The common belief is that the land value goes up, but the building itself is a depreciating asset. But is that what really happens? Let's just look at a real-life example from Hyderabad. Imagine someone bought a flat in a decent location back in 2000 for just 2 lakh rupees. For the next 20 years, their family lived there, saving a fortune on rent and travel time. Fast forward to today, and that same flat is worth around 80 lakhs. Now let's tackle that depreciation argument directly. Let's say, worst case scenario, the building is old and needs to be rebuilt. You factor in a huge cost, say 20 lakhs, for your share of the reconstruction. You're still looking at a net profit of 60 lakh rupees, and that's not even counting the money you saved by not paying rent for 2 decades. The whole depreciation argument just falls apart when you look at a well-located property. And this brings us to what might be the single most critical point: liquidity. I mean, what's the point of being a crorepati on paper if you can't access that money when you actually need it? An empty plot that's stuck in some kind of legal dispute, which is way too common, is basically worthless. You can't use it to pay for a medical emergency or your kids' college fees. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see how this all plays out in the real world. I want to show you 2 stories of 2 very different families. So let's take 2 friends, Raj and Arjun. Both have good jobs. Raj decides to buy a flat, and he really stretches himself. His EMI is more than half his salary. He has nothing left over to invest. Arjun does something different. He rents a nice place for much less, and every single month he invests the difference. After 15 years, you know what happened? Arjun's investment portfolio was actually worth more than Raj's flat. Plus, he had total financial freedom. And then there's this business family. On paper, they were loaded. They owned a bunch of plots of land outside the city. But then their son got into a top university overseas, and they needed cash, fast. Could they sell the plots? Nope, not in time. They ended up having to take a really expensive personal loan. This is the classic asset-rich, cash-poor trap. Their paper wealth became a real-life burden.
So, how do you avoid these traps? How do you make sure you make a smart call? It really comes down to a simple, logical framework. I'm telling you, if you just run through these 4 points before you buy anything, you'll already be ahead of 90% of people out there.
Number 1, cash flow. Can you actually afford it? Your total EMIs should never ever be more than 30 to 35% of your take-home pay. Number 2, location. Is this area growing? Is it close to schools, work, hospitals? Number 3, management. What are all the hidden costs? Don't just look at the price tag. And number 4, the big one, liquidity. From day one, you need to be thinking, how fast could I sell this if I had to?
And please remember this, we're not buying property to impress our relatives and guests. The goal is to buy something that gives you and your family financial freedom. It's about serving your future, not your ego.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground, so let's just boil it all down to the most important takeaways that you can start using right away.
First, a true asset pays you. An empty plot usually costs you. Second, a flat can give you immediate cash flow that grows over time. Third, plots come with some serious risks. You can't sell them quickly, and legal issues are a nightmare. Fourth, don't worry so much about depreciation in good locations. It's mostly a myth. And finally, number 5, make a choice that's right for your financial goals, not because of what everyone else is doing.
So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. When you're looking at a property, one you own or one you're thinking of buying, just ask yourself this. If I needed it to, could this thing give me income or cash tomorrow? If the answer is no, then you have to wonder if it's real wealth or just an illusion of it. So what do you think? In today's world, is a flat the smarter investment, or do you still believe in the power of land? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments below. And hey, if this was helpful, do me a favor, subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with a family that could use this information. This is Krish for Live Rich and Leave Rich.